I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody.
The Crochet Crowd, Michael speaking.
Back away, Sage.
Dance like nobody's watching me.
So what we have to do is we have to orientate this bottom half to match the top half.
Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna.
And good morning to you, and it's Mikey here from the Crochet Crowd here live in Nova Scotia, Atlantic time. It is currently 9:54 in the morning here. Beautiful, bright morning. We were supposed to get a snowstorm today, but that's been canceled. I think it's coming tonight. It's only 5 centimeters, so it's not a big deal. So anyway, it's a beautiful day here. I had a crocheter suggest to me a concept on Friday in the help desk, which is our email. And they wanted the crochet hats to be bigger in sizes as far as like going beyond 3-month sizes for a certain design. So what I needed to do is that I needed to relook at the original design, and then what do I need to do? How do I understand it? So on Friday and yesterday, I created a stepping of hats that will take it all the way to a 3-year-old child. And so I'm going to call this series the Seedling hats. And because you're going to sprout and you're going to grow. And so my goal today is that I've got everything loosely written in diagram format on my desk. And so my goal today is to convert that to a crochet diagram and then shove this off to the Journey membership on YouTube for testing, and to make sure that I have it right. Now, looking at my design, there's a few things that I see that could be improved. So I'm going to probably do that live on camera of just eyeing it up, but I don't want to make the instructions so complicated, but then I'm like, it would look better if I would have done this instead. And even though you can't really see it in the sample, the way that it was done initially, when it's written, it'll be written differently. So people, unless they're really paying attention, they'll never see it in the sample. So I am having a wonderful weekend. Yeah, I don't really, shocking, I don't have any complaints. Yeah, so I've been crocheting a lot. My ADHD was kicking hard last night, so I started an ascot design. So the crocheters for Mediterranean Crochet Cruise do not know this yet, but I'm asking them all to wear an ascot, a neck thing. We're doing a gondola trip in Venice on the canals, and it'd be kind of cool if all the crocheters are going to wear something, whether it's red or something that represents the gondoliers. Yeah, so I'm doing a sample. Friday night I was working on a concept, and I've got it pretty much hammered down. So I started working on that sample yesterday. So that sample is kind of looking like this. So there's another layer to it, but nice, easy 2-row repeat using really thin yarn. It's a merino wool that I'm using, but you can use your Croy-Sock yarn if you wanted to with that. So that's kind of upstairs on the plate. I also have 3 more thin scarves. I like thin scarves. So here's the thing. Though I'm comfortable in my own skin, I like to wear crochet, but I don't necessarily want a shawl for myself. I know I could get away with it. My personality could just like float around with this damn thing. But I like a really thin scarf. It's more of an accent color to my outfit. I'm a very casual person, as most of you know. I'm the everyday user of crochet, but I don't mind a little bit of flair with color. So I have 3 thin scarves that I've been working on. So 2 are done, and I got 1 more that's on the plate. The final one that I'm currently working on, I'm using a yarn I picked up in Scotland called For the Lovely yarn, and it glows in the dark, and it is a chevron waffle, but it's really, really thin. So it's 10 stitches and 10 stitches on the side of the thing. So it's, or sorry, 5 and 5. So 10 stitches altogether. So that's been on my plate. But then my ADHD kicks in. I also have on the plate right now is that I took on the challenge of crocheting a duck. So I'll show you my duck. So I think it's a Canadian organization, but it's called Ducks Unlimited. So the local organization gave me a decoy duck. It's made out of wood. And so I have to decorate this duck in a crochet or something format. And so I will do that. And so I'm going to basically yarn bomb this duck. So I'm thinking Bridgerton, giving it a big bouffant on the top. Something really fun, maybe even a cape or like something that's something Bridgerton oriented. That's what I'm thinking. Don't tell anybody, but I'm thinking about cutting off the head. And then just re-gluing the head so that the head is turned. So instead of being like this, so when it's sitting here, the duck will actually be turned. I'm thinking about making, removing its eyes and repositioning its eyes like amigurumi format, giving it a pair of glasses. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, so who gives a duck? I give a duck. So the duck will be auctioned off to fund Ducks Unlimited, which is a organization that protects ducks here in the region, and it's across Canada as far as I know. So anyway, so that's kind of go. And then I got one for Karen too. So her duck is slightly different than mine. So she's a mixed media artist. So her duck actually has a different format to it. So a smaller neck. It's got the thing on the back, whatever the hell that is. And anyway, so so her duck looks like this. So I'm excited to see what she does with it because she's an actual painter and she's a mixed media artist. So she'll glue probably everything to the sun. You know, it'd be kind of fun if it was punk rock too, or like steampunk. That'd be kind of fun. I love steampunk. I would love to wear steampunk. I don't go anywhere. I work from home, so I don't really have anywhere to wear stuff like that. So that's kind of there, yeah. So anyway, so the other thing I was joking to Karen about, like if I cut off its head, I could leave its head down on the platform and say it's you know, something Antoinette. What was that? She was from France and she had her head cut off because she was living a lifestyle and living off the poor. Marie Antoinette. So anyway, so Mary Quackinette. So I could do that. So it's a drake duck. The wood duck has the crest. A drake, yeah, a Marie Antoinette. So thinking about that. So anyway, I have these on the plate. So one's to Karen, one's to me. So I just, you know what, I want to start with the wig. So I have a friend that actually made a wig for amigurumi that was so amazing. So I want to go in. Apparently she learned it from a tutorial. So I got to start searching for other hosts that can do that so I can learn how to do it. We have a lot of patterns currently in the works right now because my ADHD is going off so hard, and that's kind of where it's going at this time. And so that's kind of what I have. So I have many ideas. Most of you know I am having surgery this week, so I will be out of service for most of the week. This coming thing, I'm having a gallbladder removed, in case you didn't know, and so I have been in pain for 2.5 months. So I'm having a hard time sitting. So it's, yeah, so that's my thing. Don't cut off the head. They protect, not kill the ducks. Yeah, but I thought if I cut off the head and then I just rotate the head, anybody remember Pinky Boots? Pinky Boots was a Home Depot outside decoration that I converted into like a really show bird. And it was 6 feet tall. Do you remember that? So anyway, so that's kind of, yeah. So yeah, so then I thought about using the laser cutter to cut off, I'd like to cut a base that looks like a pond. So just kind of a shape, and then put some holes in it and have some bulrushes behind the thing. So, you know, maybe ball rushes, like in the sense of, you know, the duck has gone to the ball in the Bridgerton kind of concept, but I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, that's happening. And what else is going on? Not much. Just honestly, I've been working like an idiot. I don't know why. I've just been doing that. So it keeps my mind off stuff. And I have many tutorials to film. Yeah. So anyways, that's kind of thing. And I started trying to knit something the other day, and I just said, F this. I got to talk to a friend, but they're currently on a retreat, a knitting retreat. on how to do knit right, or make one right, make one left, and how to understand it with a memory hook. So I've got to talk to her about that as well and see if she has any tips for me, because I just can't remember. So yeah. So I'm not worried about my surgery, just so you know. It's routine. I met my surgeon. We go by first name here. So Paul, I'm going to be under his care. So I had to get my hair cut for Paul and make sure I was all fun and fancy. And yeah, so it's just a day surgery. So that's good. So Daniel's going to drop me off and then pick me up at the end of my journey. So that's kind of fun. So that's kind of on my list here. And yeah, so I'm dying to get rid of the pain. Damn. So I'm going to jump you to the other screen. We're going to be making, today we're making 4, for those that are just joining us, I'm making 4 patterns that are a stepping stone of a hat. So we have their newborn. So I used Red Heart soft baby steps for the original, but then I wanted to test it with Red Heart Super Saver, and it turns out it's the same size, but the stitch definition on the baby soft steps is better in my point of view. And then we have the 3-month version. So after 3 months, no, this is 3 to 6 months. And then we have 12 months, 18, and then up to 3 years of age. So 24 to 3 years of age. So we'll work it out. And I'm going to call this series the Seedling series, because basically somebody can actually make the stepping stones. So maybe they want to change the colors, so they could actually make them like a little gift set as the child's getting older, and be able to do that. So I would not necessarily keep the color the same. If it were my child, I would want to do, now you graduated towards this color, and now it's this color, so it doesn't look like the kid's wearing the same hat for like 3 years. Yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna do that. Okay, so that was good. So surgery time, recovery is about 3 weeks. Mind you, that was over 50 years ago. I've been told it's about 3 days. That's what I'm told, and not to lift anything, but I'm a crocheter, so what am I gonna lift other than my my hand to my mouth for eating. So we're going to jump into the other screen. Interesting, I had a conversation. Ola, Joe, the crocheting sailor, was with us on Friday night. There was a live broadcast by my friend Michael from MDL, and Vijay was there, Spider Fiber, myself. There was somebody else. I don't remember. There was a couple. They have their own crochet channel as well. I forget their names though. Ola, Joe will remember, the older couple. Anyway, so we were chatting about that, different things. We got heavily on the medical, which I don't really like talking about medical too much, but got heavily talking about that. So then they're like, I had this, I had that. And the next thing you know, it's like a waiting room of a hospital. Oh my God, everybody's cross comparing their crap. So anyway, so some of the things that, you don't worry about that. So anyway, Ola Joe's starting to list the people that were with us. We also have in the house this morning, Outhouse Yarn Company, and her last name is Outhouse. So just so you know, and she is from Briar Island here in Nova Scotia. Got to meet her quickly over the summer, and Briar Island is where people go to do the whale watching experiences, and they have science vessels out there. And so I forgot her first name, but Outhouse Yarn was there, and anyway, she is really inspirational as far as like drawing with color she sees on the island itself. So you literally have to grab a ferry to get there. And anyway, so I like how she had her yarn has a storyline to it. So whether it's like the sand dunes, or not sand dunes, but like the muddy tidal spins, and then the ocean colors and whatever, it's Rachel. So Rachel is her color. So yeah, so that's kind of fun, and I love when people dye yarn with a sense of purpose, and she does a hell of a good job. If you're ever looking for Outhouse Yarns Company, is a great page to be able to follow if you're looking for yarn, and she dyes it all herself. So yeah, so my glasses, people keep commenting on my glasses. we had a great conversation yesterday. This young girl stopped Daniel and I at the coffee shop, and we had a beautiful conversation for about 30 minutes. Put our tables side by side and we chatted, and the glasses is what kicked off the story. And anyway, so you never know who you meet when you're walking down the street. So yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna get started. I struggle. The round diagrams are pretty cool, but I'm looking at the original round diagram I did back in 2020, and it looks like sin. So I've learned a lot in my time frame. And one of the services that I'm planning on opening, which I planted a seed to it yesterday quietly, is that I'm looking into offering my contractual service to make crochet diagrams for designers. So don't be a person that just wants somebody to design to actually take somebody else's pattern and do it, because it's considered a copyright. But another crochet designer that I know charges $60 an hour American dollars. So that is what, 90 something Canadian. So and that's per hour. So I'm looking at charging $65 an hour to do something like that. And $65 Canadian an hour is the equivalent of $45 American. So I'm looking at doing that, seeing if there's any interest in that. I have a lot of experience with the crochet diagrams, as most of you know. And it's a way for the crochet world to expand beyond the language, because the symbols are pretty much universal across the board. So so we have a lot of foreign crocheters that don't actually know my my language, but they can actually follow my crochet diagrams because they don't need to know my language, because they're using the diagrams. So that's kind of neat. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to jump you to a different screen here, and we're going to get started. We're going to start. So I'm going to start off with the newborn size and then progress my way up to 3 years of age. There will be a total of 4 designs, I think. Five designs. Yeah. Okay. So let me jump you to a different screen here. I'm still here. I'll be able to see your comments. And yeah. So stop underselling yourself, says Trish. Trish, I'm an emotional cutter. Yeah, Trish is a really good friend of mine from the United States. If you want to sit beside somebody and have an intelligent conversation, Trish Barker is your girl. So I like Trish so much, I sat in the smoking section with her on the ship, and then she said, "These are my last cigarettes, Michael." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, we'll see how it goes." And how many years has it been, Trish? Like, you made a goal and you did it. Like, I was so impressed. But yeah, so I like when women have success stories more than men. That's just my own preference, but I'm a supporter of women in that sense. Yeah. So out of the barn, crochet creations, out of the barn. What is out of the barn? You can share that while I'm loading up my other screen. And yeah. So yeah, well, Leanne's here with us too. So we get a lot of former cruisers with us going, and yeah. So yeah. So so Wendy is just joining us. So Wendy is under my name, the Crochet Crowd, and she's joining us today as well. So she's out in California, and I'm here in Nova Scotia. So there's a 4-hour difference between the two of us. So it's currently 6 a.m. in her time zone right now. So let me jump you to a different screen, and we're going to get going, and we're going to begin. So we're going to start with scratch today. I do tend to talk out my steps as I'm going, and I need to create the foundational base that starts all of them, and then they all take a slightly different path. And it's amazing the difference of just a jumping of just age group. The other thing I realized, because I don't do clothing very much, is that I didn't realize that a child's head actually grows the most within 24 months, and then it just eases off. So, and then you basically grow into your head later. Who knew? So anyway, we're gonna get ourselves started. So I use a template already that's established, and we're going to begin our journey. And I don't know why my half double crochets are missing. So we're going to just, so all my symbols are uniform with each other. And I don't know why the half double crochet is missing. And so we will do that. It's quite possibly I copied it and whatever. So there's always two colors. There's always blue and there's always black. Black always starts off the patterns. And that's part of the standards of crochet. And I'm going to save it again without the recovery. My computer crashed the other day. So this template is actually for sale. You can see a little bit of Spanish that's been mixed in, but I think I've only sold two templates of this. But you know, that's okay. So anyway, so I have everything kind of just already planned out. So my circle starts off, we don't start off with a circle in this one. We're starting off with a chain 3. And that's going to be the start of our journey. So I'm going to begin to do that. And so this is going to be called the Seedling Hats series. And we're going to then create our lines. Okay, and then we're going to align these guys together. And then we're going to put them into a guideline. So we're going to move these to the guides. Everything is about layers, so I can just take stuff out if I have to. And we're going to move it to a new layer. We're going to align it center, and we're going to align it horizontally as well. And then we're going to make this as a guide. And it disappeared. Why? Why did it disappear? Oh, I probably have the guides hidden. So unlock or unhide. Show the guides. Okay, we're going to unlock our guides. So you don't see it, but I'm accessing the upper menus, unlock guides. So whenever I don't remember something, I just use the help menu. So we're going to unlock the guides. We're going to get rid of the guides that are not needed. And then we're going to relock the guides again. So lock guides. So the customer, you don't ever see the guides. And so the way that this hat starts, it's a chain 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that off to the side, and we're going to start with our half double crochets. And remember what I said, not that it matters to you too much, but is that the first one is always black. So we're going to start with our black half double crochets. So this means that it's being wrapped once, and then when we pull through all 3. So that's what the half double crochet is. Now we're going to rotate this around, and we need to give it a spin of 360 degrees. So we have to change the registry key point to the middle, and then we are going to spin this. So 360 degrees divided by, it's a pop-up that you don't see. I don't know why. So 360 degrees divided by 8 points, and we're going to copy that around. So there we go. So I don't tend to worry about the beginning sections right here. I don't worry about that so far. So what I'm going to do is that in the pattern, it gets really big. So I'm going to redo this again, but I'm going to make these guys smaller. The height doesn't really matter so much. It's still the same symbol. And we're going to make these a little bit smaller. And we're going to rotate that around again. So 360 degrees divided by 8 points. There we go. Copied it. Okay. So the next part of this is that we are going to establish all the stitches nest into each other. So we are going to be using a V stitch. So I'm going to look for my V stitches that I have. 2 double crochet V stitch right here. Oops. There is no spaces in between, so it's this one. And we're going to grab it and we're going to take it with us. Now this is round number 2, so we're going to move this to round number 2. And we also have to recolor because the next round always is blue. Send to the current layer, and we are going to make this blue. So what I need to do, see how the top is kind of flat? We don't like that. I don't like that. So what we have to do is we have to create a circle point. So we're going to create a circle. We're going to make it green as a registration thing, and we're going to move it to the guides. So the guides all get taken out, so when you see it, you don't see my work that I'm doing behind the scenes. So we're going to move it to the center, and I'm going to make this. So do you see how the tops don't really match? So I want to match that to it. So I want to just kind of bend them a little bit. But here's the problem that I'm having, is that we want to make sure that the spacing is right. So what I have to do is that I have to create another guide going straight up. Now I don't do straight very often, but today is your lucky day. And there is going to be a total of how many stitches? 8 times 3 is 24 stitches. So we're going to just do a few of these so that I can see where it is. And so we're going to rotate. So 24 stitches is what's going around. So this will help us equally space the stitches. 360 degrees divided by 24 stitches around. So these are where the tops of the stitches are. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take the center point here, and I am going to draw a line from the middle point here to the center. And then I'm going to rotate the center so it matches. Oops. So we're going to rotate that so it matches. And that was the end of the game. And my system just crashed. Don't save. Don't send. I'm going to reopen. I had this issue. That's what happened the other day. Hopefully it's got my work in there. Craziest thing, right? Share screen. And we're back. Okay. And my computer automatically saves anyway, but we are going to just resave what we have done so far, just in case. So Adobe Illustrator is actually an online service now. It's no longer, remember how back in the old days that it used to be you have to download a disk or whatever, but the new systems today are all like app oriented. So we're going to rotate. Oh, the guide is missing. Show guides. Guides. My guides are missing. I'm just going to zoom out just to make sure it's not there. Okay, we're just going to recreate the guides. That's what's missing. Without the guides, you can't do stuff like this. You need those down guides. So we'll recenter. And we'll make these guys. Center the current layer. And we'll make these the guides. We have to unlock the guides. And move. Okay, and then we'll lock the guides again. Okay, so what we have to do at this point is that we have to rotate the center. To match the angle. Okay, we can get rid of this guy here. And now we're going to align. So we already know the spacing, so we're going to need open recent. We're going to need a chain. Save. We're going to need a chain. It needs to be blue because it's round 2. Make sure we're on round 2 and paste. So this is a chain right here. So now we're going to just realign these guys here. So I don't know what Daniel's up to today. We're getting chicken this week, so he's been preparing for that. So we have some banthams already. So he's getting lavender morans, and then he's also getting the lemon pile Brahmas, which are massive chicken. And they end up being 30 inches tall, and they take 2 years to grow. So we're just going to realign to the center. Remember, when you're looking at crochet diagrams, wherever it's pointing to is wherever you're putting the stitch, if that helps you to know that. So we just got to draw it once. So all the symbols I've drawn in advance, I just kind of manipulate it to do what I need it to do. And that is going to be round 2. So we're going to take it and rotate it. There's 8 pieces of pie around the center. Try it again. This is called the registry key, and it's the very center point of the shape that I've selected. And there's 360 degrees divided by 8 of those to take it into a circle. And that's round number 2. And then we're going to get rid of our registration keys, or our reference points here. Okay, and I just got to look at my notes. Okay, round number 3. So round number 3 is also going to be these guys, but they go into the middle. So one of the things that I have in my diagram that I roughly drew many years ago is that I did not, it's really hard to see it on the diagram, so I'm going to be adjusting that here today. I'm just going to choose that again. And so what I'm going to do before I do anything is that I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to realign it back to the center point. And then we're going to paste to round number 3. Round number 3 should be black. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to sink it in a little bit to make it look like it's going in between the space. It's kind of nesting within each other. And yeah. But are we only crocheting 2 squares for the Alaska trip? Yes, Gloria, just 2 is all you need. And then the other 2 that you'll be learning from other people on the cruise ship. So that's a great question. Okay, so if we know that there's 8 pieces here, so there's actually a total of 16. So we had 8 of these and we had 8 of those, so we have 16. So 16 times 2 is 32 stitches. I'm just saying this out loud because, you know, I'm manic. But I'm only going to copy it once because I need to adjust the second one. Okay. Oops. Try again. One thing I'm noticing on these current crochet cruises, people think that we do the same thing every time. And so they're hoping we would do the same activity, even though they have a person hasn't been with us before. But we try to change things up just to, but I've noticed that. I'm kind of surprised by it, to be honest. But I think people like what they saw in the past. So we're going to have to adjust these guys here to match the circle. And I'm also going to adjust these guys because these are going into a space. So we'll start with that one first. Just going to repoint it to the space. It's assumed that you go around here. The other one that's dipping down, it's kind of unusual to separate the posts that it's doing, but it's required for this pattern. Just realign this one. Now, when you're zoomed out, you will never notice that it wasn't exactly in the center, but my mania goes into play, and we need to rotate these guys to make it look like it's actually going in a circle. So this symbol here that you're looking at is called double crochet. So you wrap the hook once going in, and then you pull through, and then you stop and pull through 2, and then you pull through 2 to the top. So anyway, the crochet cruisers for Alaska have been challenged to make 2 squares, choosing any design, or if they want to self-design, and then bring them with them. And then on the cruise ship, they're gonna sit with each other and determine whose squares they like, and then make 2 more squares based on what other people have made. And so then their community project will be a combination of their own creativity plus something that they picked up from the other cruisers. So it's a way of mixing and matching and getting people to share concepts and ideas with. Okay, so the one's sunken down there. So I have 8 of these, then I'm gonna just copy those around the center point. I think in the future, a nice change would be for Adobe Illustrator to say, this is the center of the document, rotate everything around the center, but you have to move it every time currently. But I will ask AI at the end of, actually, you know what, I'll do it right now, because you never know when they change stuff. Oops. Sorry, I got sidetracked yapping at you. Let's try it again. Because you never know if they do an update like that, and you just miss it, or you just don't know, but that they changed it by 8 to copy it. So this is the round 3. And I'm going to ask AI on the other computer, on the other screen. Does Adobe Illustrator allow a center of a document to be anchored for doing rotations? Yes, Adobe Illustrator allows you to change the anchor point, the center thing. Okay, that's not. If you want to rotate an object around the exact center point of your document, ensure the smart guides command you, control you are on. This will help you snap to the anchor point of the artboard. So you still got to pick it. Tips for precision: Alt and click trick if you want precise rotational tool. The spot where you want to. Okay, so it's not available. It's not ready yet for that. One day that'll be available. So do you have a piece that you've deployed this pattern or one very close to it? Yes. So I have, you can see it here. I got my samples all done. I have 5 patterns. So I am starting with this. So they all start off the same way. And then they change from this point. Okay, this is round number 3. And so I am going to, everything now takes a turn from round 3 for all the sizes. So this is the standard for all 5 sizes. We're going to move our piece in. And I thought about making an adjustable circle, but then I thought people might complain about it, so I just said, oh, screw it, I'll just use a chain 3. And I'm just going to make the one chain a little bit more circle. And to save me time, this has to be black. And also I'm going to put some information in here, because it'll have to be done on all of them anyway. So let me put in let's create a new layer. We'll call it joins. And we're going to need our slip stitches for that. We'll need, So this is our slip stitching. And after we get that done, we're going to slip stitch. I'm going to make this guy a little bit smaller to make room for it. This is why you do this afterward. And this guy has to be blue because it's a blue round. And then we need to slip stitch, start the black. And then we're going to do the black. Okay. And then we might as well put the blue in because we're going to need it anyway for the next. And we need some information. We need some of these. You can do an adjustable circle instead of chain 3. I love, yes, absolutely. You know what? Andrea, I get that question all the time. And I wish people would just do it. You don't need to ask, just do it. Knock your socks off, baby. So we're gonna just label these guys up. So this is number 2. And usually the labeling is always in black. And 1. And I will make him 8 points instead. Okay, so there's the foundational base of all 5 of them. So you can see I've been working on other stuff. I just play with ideas and see what happens. But I'm going to keep that. This here is a design that a crocheter gave me to look at, but she has to follow up with me. I don't really understand. So we're going to keep the stitch key handy, and we are going to make 5 of these guys. So we're going to unlock our guides so we can move them. Unlock guides. And we're going to make 5. Oops. Oh, they're hidden. Okay, so we need 5 of these guys to start. So 1, 2, and 1 more. Okay, so we'll keep going with the smaller one here. And I'm going to make the artboard a little bit wider. It's just easier. And we're going to save our work. Okay. And now we're going to go back to my notes. Okay, so let's do the newborn size. I'm going to write underneath newborn, so I remember. Months. Okay, we're going to move this guy out bigger. And we're going to need some blue boys of those. So we're just going to take our template and get another V-stitch. Now this will get complicated because we can't equally grow this out. So I'm going to sink it down in. And I'm going to use the height. And now there's going to be a total of 38 going in the circle. So I am going to just guess. I know. So I have 38 stitches in the circle. (360° divided by 38 stitches. So these are where the stitches will be. Okay. So if there was 32, that means that there's a difference of 6. So I need to make sure that there's an extra stitch. There's an extra 6 stitches compared to last time. Can 32 stitches be divided by 3? No. I think this has to be completely customized. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to ungroup these guys. And the reason why I'm ungrouping is that I'm going to eventually copy these guys around and just adjust the bottoms because they all have to point somewhere unique. And my goal is to make this as easy for the crocheters as possible as far as remembering the stitches. That's ultimately what it comes down to. So if there's 38 stitches divided by 2, that's 16. So I got 16 of these bad boys going around the circle. So we're going to do that. So 360° divided by 16 of those. That doesn't make sense. It's not 16. Is it 14? Oh my God, why can't I think of that? 38 divided by 2, 19, not even close. Okay, so there's 19 of those. Duh. So 360° divided by 19 of those, and we're going to see where they land. So the goal is to make this as simple as possible. Okay, I'm going to highlight this one as red because it's the starting point so I can see it. You won't see that at home when I give it to you. So So what's the best way to do this? So I need to increase by 6 stitches. So that means 3 of them have to be so if I do one here, one here, one here. I'm going to leave that one there. That one's just making sense right here. So that's my extra one right here. So I'm going to put that as blue. Or actually, I'll put that as purple. We're going to leave that. That's going to be the growth one. So that's one of 3 that I need. And now we're going to start adjusting these guys. Oh, shoot. These guys are blue. Okay. Blue. Okay, so he's in the center of the V. He's at the center of the V. And he's at the center of the V. And the reason why it's sunken, it's between 2 posts, which is unusual. You know what? I'm going to make him a bit thicker too. Okay. I do talk to myself, yes. So I need an extra one. So this is one extra. This is almost perfect right here. I want this growth to be pretty much consistent. So it's equal. So when a child's wearing it, it doesn't look like it's lopsided. So I will throw another one here. And I'm going to make these guys purple. Thickness is up. I want people to be able to see this is where the growth is. That was not purple. So there's the extra one right there. So the rest of them are going to go right into the V itself. Okay, and we'll start making them blue. I should have made it blue before I did the copy. And now we're going to redirect. Because the growth is only 6 stitches in the round, it throws off the round below for alignment. As far as diagram crochet format is concerned. There goes blue. Could you grab both points at the same time and move them? Yes, I could. But I don't want to change the, no. No, I can't do that because they're connected as a location marker. But that would be a cool idea for another future update for Adobe, wouldn't it? So, but don't kid yourself. I love doing stuff like this. So then the goal is to film all 5 of these, possibly today, at least a couple of them. They only take a few minutes to make their little baby hats. And get those off to the Journey members for testing. So our Journey members are part of the testing crew. Okay, so then this one goes to the middle. So I saw a design similar to this, and the growth is all on the one, like at the very beginning. So it kind of looks oblong. It kind of looks like it's misshaped. And when the kid's wearing it, you never see it. But then as a designer, I know that it is. So it bothers me. So I'm trying to spread these guys out. Okay. So I have to have a growth of 1 more time. So I got it here. So let's just get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What if I did another 5? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I do this one in the middle. Yeah, let's do that. I want to be able to write this so it's easy to remember. We'll make it thicker so people can see that's going in between the posts. And we'll slam these guys in. And then once this round is done, the whole hat just is so easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's just this round is, but as they get bigger, it gets more complicated as far as squeezing more stitches in, but we'll get there. So anybody doing anything fun this weekend? Yeah. So, and Lisa is going to a craft store today. Lisa probably doesn't even need any yarn. She's just nosy. So I've been thinking a lot about Lisa lately, not in a weird way, but she asked me a question during the podcast last year about what would I design if it were me. And so I've been thinking a lot about that. It's been in my head like constantly. What would I do? What does the consumer not really need me to do, but I would do it anyway? That's kind of been my question in my head. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's amazing how somebody can plant a seed and then it kind of sticks with you. So I watched the movie Crudes the other day, just background as I was crocheting, and it's like, and you know, I forget the main character's name, but he wants to be smart, so he hits himself over the head with a rock, and it's like, what would Guy do? What would Guy do? And then he says, what would I do? And so I'm thinking a lot about Lisa, and it's like, what would I do? So yeah. Working on the study of the snow as a housewarming gift. That's a nice idea. And Amber is working on. Amber, are you you're not our crocheter that comes with us on the cruise, do you, Amber? You don't have grandkids, do you? It cannot be the same Amber. The last name looks familiar to me. Just finishing your Star Snowflake blanket question. Do you make the design first and then hook it and graph it? I do the graph. This is my first step. Is that I graph it first, then I crochet it, and then I come on the computer and then I graph it for real. So I always got notes going off the side. I graph it on paper first, and then I transfer it to computer. And then I keep going and going and going. This design just got released last week. Yeah. I was on the last one and going on the Mediterranean. Okay, so I wasn't on the last one, so I haven't met you yet. So the goal is to make your own design. Go for it. You know, and if you remember anything about me in the end, just remember that I'm always a fan of people exploring their own creativity. And in our space, the crochet world, there is room for you to design and to create. There's no room for you if you're going to create, you're going to copy somebody else's stuff. But if you are open enough, there's always room for you. That's why I don't see the other YouTube hosts as a competitor, because there's room for everybody in this world. Yeah, that's just my belief. When I came into the crochet world back in 2008, I had this mentality: I got to kick everybody's asses and I got to be number one. And actually, you know who straightened me out with that was Teresa Richardson. She was the original big YouTube host at the time. She ends up, in the long term, she ends up developing some kind of mental disorder. I haven't seen her name in a long time, but she was the original. And she reminded me that there's really no competitors on YouTube. The only competitor is yourself. And when she said that to me, I got that attitude out of me and realized that there's enough space for everybody in this world to have their creations and their ideas, right? So anybody remember her? Crochet Teresa Richardson. So because I was hating on the woman even though I had never met her, and I'm like, because that's a competitive thing to do. And I'm like, and then when she got a hold of me and we were talking very honestly, she basically reminded me that my own creativity is my own and that hers is hers, and there's really no competition other than yourself pushing yourself to do better. And it straightened me out big time. That's the only time I'm straightened out, though. Yeah. Oh. Banging on the craft doors open up. I got a craft. Yeah. You feel like a crazy person. You're outside waiting. Oh my God. Well, you said it. Mm-hmm. I think you're in Ohio, right, Lisa? Okay, so this round is done. So the growth, I am wondering, what would the crocheter want that would be easier to see? This is totally breaking the rules of crochet, but I'm thinking, and I know that's a scary thing, I am thinking of just putting in a round circle and giving it yellow and making it transparent of 30. I want crocheters to see this is where the growth, it's so much easier to see it. These are the extra 6 stitches that went in. So the rest of them use the existing V-stitch, but then these get slammed in between the V-stitches. That makes sense to me. So newborn, this is the only time that the newborn is the only time it actually grows like that. I will have to highlight that on a thing. Does that make sense? Yeah, break the rules, freaking crush it. Lisa, if you were closer, I'm sure we'd be good friends. And we'd hang out at coffee shops and harass people together. Actually, I was last week was such a snow day. I was sitting waiting for Tim Hortons, and I knew Daniel was plowing, so I waited. And there's a guy that's missing a leg, and I see him every day, and I've been seeing him every day for like 8 years. And anyway, so he's the only one in there because he's gone to Tim Hortons and he plowed through in a scooter. His name is Rob. Anyway, always seems really pleasant when I see him. So anyway, I sat with him for about 30 minutes. And hey, my name's Michael, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, it's amazing the people that you will meet when you just open your mind up. And so do you see the problem with here? The yellow is in front of this, and I want the yellow to be behind. So I'm going to move the yellow into round number 1 because it's behind. And anyway, so it's amazing what happens when you open up your mind to. You see how it changed the tinge? So now it's behind. So anyway, anyway, it turns out that he was part of painting our house when the house was built in 2009. Like, what a small world that is. Okay, so now we are going to go into the blue. So we're going to join it. This is round number 4. And now the remaining of this round, the remaining of this is now until it gets to the size that you want. So I am going to take this. I'm going to take it with me. And so the circle is even bigger now. But the toppings are going to be a different spacing because we've spaced in other stuff. So what we have to do is we have to figure out 38 stitches. So I'm just going to guess it. Anyway, so then also I met a lady 2 weeks ago. She was crocheting in the coffee shop, so I stopped to talk to her for a few minutes. And so she's brand new to crochet, and I introduced who I was, and I asked her what she was working on and what her, you know. And so anyway, she's playing with crochet. She's up there in age, not too old, but she's up there. And so she was making her first dishcloths, and so she says to me, "Oops, that's wrong." So she shows me her border, and the border's all buckled in, and she goes, "How is this happening?" So I was able to show her how she could fix her work. And oops. So I told her to come out to stitch night and come and meet the locals that are crocheters, and so she has yet to show up, but you never know. Open up the world to other people. Okay, so this is going to be my round there. I know the distance is right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it. So it's equal, and we'll get rid of these guys out. We're going to make these guys black. Blue. Anyway, so do you ever do that? You just kind of see somebody and you just stop and talk to them. Now, I did stop to talk to somebody on the cruise line, and they did not want to talk to me at all. So she was using a Red Heart product, and I thought I'd stop and talk to her, but she was so zoned in on her project that basically it was one word answer. So I realized, okay, I'll move on. But so you gotta read people's body language, right? am I living in Canada or Australia? I'm Canadian, but I'd love to live in Australia. Australia, I feel to me, is a Canadian version of tropical. When I was there, I felt so comfortable being there. So maybe one day. Okay, so we know that there's 38 of these guys, but I first see myself dying in Canada, though. I don't, as much, as cool as it would be, divide by 38 of those. And so, that's not right. Oh, there's 38 stitches, so that means 38, 38. That's 19. I made that same mistake twice. 19 of those things. Did you also have them written? They will be written. This is my process of designing. So I do this first, then I can look at it and convert it to words. So you'll get it. Okay, and this is number 5 to the end. So it has to be black. Number 5 is a repeat all the way to the end. And then the last row is going to be a single crochet around, which we don't have yet. And that'll be, I'll put that as blue. Grug. Grug is the name of the guy from the Crudes. So you're welcome for this study of snow. I have another design. I'm waiting for yarn to come in from Yarn Inspirations to share with you, but I want to design a real thing before I release it. And we're just going to make this guy a little bit bigger so we can see it. And I want to make sure that he's coming out on the right angle. So we'll go from the center to the center. That's good enough for me. And then we got, so that's going to be 38 of those for real. So one of the reasons why I switched over from Red Heart to Yarn Inspirations years ago was because of the diagrams. Yarn Inspirations was still using diagrams, where Red Heart at the time was contracting designers, and then they take what the contractors give them. Unless it's really special, then they won't contract a graphics designer to do crochet diagrams. And so Yarn Inspirations, 2 of their designers can, at least, maybe even more, can actually do this, but they have a graphics designer, a graphics artist that can do these. And so my goal, there's 38 of these, my goal was to learn how to do it myself. And so this is the final round of a newborn size. And he's going to be blue. And this breaks the rules, but I'm going to say last, or last, if it fits. And So I don't know if you know this, but I used to be an automotive engineer. So I used to design on AutoCAD. And so this kind of floats my boat a bit. So what's missing of this kind of pattern now? We're missing the starts and the stops. Okay, so we're going to get rid of, oops. So now we have to put in our chain spaces to start. So if you do all of the stops and starts in the very beginning like this, you end up screwing it up, the spacing. And so there's a total of 3. So I'll take 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'll take these guys are a little shorter. One comes out. So these are the chain 3 to start. So he has to be blue. And we'll use him going up. So you kind of want to match the angle to make it look like it belongs. Okay, we're going to take him back. He's black. I said you like felt like knitting. Did you knit anything? Oh, I tried, but I got really frustrated with it, so I threw it away. I was struggling. I want to make a wave blanket, but I'm struggling to transition from make one right, make one left. And if you're a crocheter and you don't know what that is, it's not hard. It's just it was inconvenient. It was more work than I wanted. Just making them a little bit more narrow. And then take that guy up with me. So he's got a point to there. He's going to come down and come in. And what's missing is the slip stitch to get him there. So when you finish off a round, you have to finish off slip stitch into the next, between the posts. Does that make sense? And number 5, you don't. Number 5 is just repeating over and over. And oh, I'm missing a chain 1. Okay, he has to be blue. And that was one of 5 patterns today. So now that I've done the first one, because my brain is in creation mode, I can do the others pretty quickly. Well, more quicker than this one. And that was the newborn size. We're going to get rid of the registration key. And I'm going to create a new layer. Hide. I'm going to move him to hidden guides so that the customer doesn't see it. Excuse me. And so if I need it again, I can pull it up later. And the guides, when I go to give this out, it will not be. So now the stitch guide is going to be the same for all 5. So we only basically use some stuff. So we're going to take him out to tell people what that is. I think I need to explain the stitches are stacked within each other. Let me just grab from my sample. I'm just gonna grab this guy. Whoops. Changing the color to blue. Morning coffee and crochet. Have you tried a lifted increase? A lifted increase. Let me write that down. I've never heard of that. Lifted increased. I might know what that is, but I don't know. Okay. And I'm going to make him, because he's in the stitch thing, I'm going to make him brighter. So bright like me, baby. And what's missing is the slip stitching. So the stitch key is always black, unless there's a good reason why it's not. So all the symbols should be black. And the reason why I'm doing this is just showing that there's one round and then the next one. That's my reasoning, and I'm sticking to it. And they should be lined up perfectly for each other. Slip stitch. Usually in crochet stitch keys, they do not put shorts. They do not put like CH for chain. They actually spell it out. I don't know if that's a standard or whether that's a Yarn Inspirations thing, but I like it either way. I'm going to just print it and make sure that I can actually see the yellow when I print it. It might not be visible enough. Save my work. Let's print this and make sure I can actually still see that yellow. Oh, Kelly's joining us today. Kelly, what are you up to today? Do you want to get together for a coffee? I haven't seen you in so long. Unless you're with your family, of course. Yeah, I can barely see it. I'm gonna strengthen that color up more. What time are you thinking? I can go basically anytime. Just let me know. I just gotta let Daniel know if I leave the house. That's all. I'm gonna make him brighter. And how cold is it? Do you want to take the puppy dog for a walk? See how cold it is. It's only -2. We can do the other walk we did before, if you're up for it. Yeah, we can do an hour. So I will see you at the coffee spot location that we meet up. Let's just say 12:30, and I can bring the puppy dog for a walk if you're interested. Okay, we'll bring the puppy dog. Okay. And it's missing one yarn ball. The whole reason I placed the whole order for the one ball, of course it is. Well, are you going to go back in there? Or are you just going to go online here, bitch? I mean, spread your gospel. Okay, so 12:30 with Kelly. Now I'm headed to, oh, so they don't actually have the yarn, Lisa. Oh my God. Okay, so that first one is done. So that's the newborn. And I won't have to make more stitch keys in this. So we're going to move on to another next one. Okay, we're going to unlock the guides again. This is the thing about the United States. They have a Michael's pretty much like stop signs in some locations. I don't think Americans realize how good they have it at times versus, you know, choices. So, and does that sound like a generalization? Yeah, it does. But, so you made the Love Your Mandela. It made it into a tree skirt. Oh, was it that gingerbread one? So we're going to move this guy out because we're going to make him bigger. So this is going to be the 6-month size. So this is a 0 to 3 months. And we're going to restart. And you know what I'm going to do? I'll take a copy of him. You know what? No, I'll start from scratch. Okay. So we need more V stitches again. So this is the 6-month size. Make him blue. But you have Timmy Zemmerwear, and that's true. That's kind of true. But honestly, if you don't have a Timmy's, you're saving money. We have Pandemonium Express. Pandemonium. Is that Michael's Man? It's the only thing that I can get that from. A half triple crochet is what it's called. It's an intricate pattern. I think it's uncommon stitches. Triple, what is it called? Half triple crochet. Writing that down. Okay, so we're going to relock the guides. It is Michael's man. I've never seen a photo of you, but oh, that's Wendy, but Panda is Michael's hubby. So I'm going to move my numbers out. I'll put them back later. And now we're going to guess. Oh, you know what? I have to do what I did before. Okay, so there's 42 stitches divided by 2. Is that 21? Yes, it is. So there's 21 of these bad boys. So I'm going to put these in a circle and figure out where the increases should be. I have it in my notes, but I didn't like the locations after it was said and done. So I'm going to adjust. 360 degrees divided by 21 of these. Are we going to be able to print this when you're done? Absolutely. Yeah. I'll put it on the Mikey Stitch Studio for you to download. I'm not planning on charging for these designs. They're so basic. So there will be 5 designs altogether. Okay, so there's 42 of these, and let's just figure out where they belong. That makes sense. So if there's 38 last times, that means that there's going to be 5 increases. Yep. Okay, so we can make this as an increase right here. So we have Western Washington. Washington is at the Washington State. Okay, so we got 5 increases. So we got 1 here. I'm looking to where they kind of fall in between to make it easier. So if I do a clock, what if I do here? So Pandemonium, do you actually crochet? Or I think Michael contacted me about you doing an Easter bunny or something. So I assume you crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to make it so it's easy. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I need 5 increases for the special sizing, it gets things complicated. So I need 1 more increase. I'll do it right at the end. Well, close to the end. Oh, Wendy's confirming it was a bunny. Oh, she actually has a photo. I never saw a photo of it. Oh, that's cute. Oh, you have your own store. Oh, that's cute. Cute. If you want to post the link for that on the chat, go ahead, Wendy. It's pretty cute. Okay, so now we have to align all the bases, the bottoms. Group. I tried the Showtime hat for my husband. He loved it. And I like how the Showtime hat is really general. Like it's really it can go with anybody. So there's some hats that just look too feminine. The problem with the baby hats is that there's never a good solution as far as like an equal number of stitches to apply. So you have to throw in those extra stitches to get it to work. It's probably why it's scared me over the years. And Wendy has posted a link for Pandemonium's $5 US bunny rabbits. So for Canadians, that'll be about $7.50. So even though it's leaning over a lot, it should balance. Somewhere along the line. The half triple crochet in chart symbol form. Thank you, Trish. I'll take a look at that later. Actually, my YouTube rep got a hold of me the other day. She goes, you know, you got people talking to on that part of the community post, and I completely forgot about it. So anyway, I had to go find a pattern. Somebody had it originally from Yarn Inspirations, which has been removed because the yarn's long gone. And so I contacted Yarn Inspirations customer service to see if I can get a copy of it. But just remember that if it's a major design like that, it's usually a manufacturer that makes that stuff. So you can always contact them and ask them for the pattern. Now, if it's an unknown label or a store brand, I don't know if that's the same opportunity. Okay. So Kelly is a friend of mine. She saw me on the local news. Her mother did. And so then Kelly started attending our stitch groups. And then her mother, Millie, started attending as well. And so it turns out to be a friend. She's a kind of friend that is a no work kind of friend. Like you don't have to work hard to keep a friendship. She's really independent, which I like. Okay, so this guy has to go in between the groups. So Lorianne just got the bunny. It's pretty cute, isn't it? So there is something to be said about the low sew or virtually hardly any sewing amigurumi. There's another designer, the Crochet Carpenter, does a lot of no sew. My agent was talking to me about him for travel to see if we would think about doing some kind of joint activity together, like event. So I had never heard of him until she mentioned something. So then I kind of followed him online and just like, oh, this guy's fascinating. And he's also Canadian too. And he currently lives where I went to college. And it's another male designer. My agent was also talking to me about doing a men's only crochet event, but I declined that. I kind of like my events to be open to everybody instead of just a gender. The only thing my events are closed off to is I don't want to deal with kids. But I've made no secret about that over the years. I've just never had them, so I don't know how to talk to kids. I don't know how to suppress my adult humor and my adult words. Okay. And Debbie Bloomer is here today, joining us in the house. So when you're crochet designing, you always have to think about who's actually going to read the damn thing. If you make it too complicated, you're going to lose people. But the crochet diagrams help those people that lack the visualization as well, including myself. And Gordon is joining us today. Gordy. That was a sweet message you sent me the other night, by the way, Gordon. You just sent it to me way too late. Figured you were asleep and would see it in the morning. I was still up. Probably rolling around on the couch. Just don't want to talk to anybody. And that's the truth. So that's in. Probably petting my kitty cat. So I posted on my own Facebook profile this morning. There's a guy I follow on Instagram, and his dog is named Trevor. And anyway, I think he's got to be from the UK or South America, based on his accent. But I don't follow him enough to know where he lives, or I'm not that creepy. But anyway, his dog Trevor is an Iggy, which is a greyhound. Anyway, the dog actually does what it's told. My dogs could actually learn some lessons. 7:45 a.m. there. So are you on the West Coast? And we got Ohio in the house this morning. It is approaching 12 noon my time zone today. I'm meeting Kelly at 12:30 and a couple towns away. All right, I'm gonna take the puppy dog with me. Okay, so that's that round done. And we're going to place these guys. So the growth is here, here, here. So the reason why I did this is that, see, there's 4 groups here. There's 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. It's easy for me to write the pattern and say, repeat this so many times and then finish off a certain way. That's why I did that. There's a method to my madness. And this will be the next round until the stuff is done. Number 42. So the baby hat was 38 stitches. This is 42. It's not much of a difference. Oops. Those increases pop out. It's what I wish I would have had on my original that I did. So there's 42 of these stitches, 360 degrees divided by 42 points. And that's going to be the spacing between. And it's like crochet, you know, if you don't add extra stitches, you know, you got to compensate for kind of what I'm doing right now, just spreading them out. A lot of people that are new to crochet think that you can just do the same round over and over and over and it just lay flat, but you got to compensate for the distance of the radius of the circle. Okay, so if there is 42 divided by 2 is 21, so there's 21 of these guys. (360 degrees divided by 21 of those. Oops. Okay, and then the last one is going to be a single crochet in. In blue. (360 degrees divided by 42 stitches, and that will line those up perfectly. Math is hard. Oh my God, yeah, totally is, Lauren. And Lauren's up early in the morning. Jesus, She's using a Nighthawk and gets up like late. Lauren's a personal friend of mine as well, all the way from the West Coast. And we're going to move this to the hidden layer. Done. Okay, and now we're going to take our stitches that we know about. We'll take these, take this, this, this. We'll copy it. We'll take it over with us. So the blue to blue. See how you draw it once and you can just kind of drag stuff over. Okay, we're going to follow this guy up. It's way too early, she says. Did you, Lauren, did you see Melissa's cute dog wearing the bandana as Melissa's wearing her sunglasses? It was so cute. It was like owner, like puppy dog. I saw that this morning. Yeah, so adorable. It really was. 2, 1. Keeping an eye on the time so I can meet up with Kelly. Black. And that's it for that one. Okay, this is the 6-month size. Okay, now the next one is 6 to 12 months. Time is at 11:53. Okay, we're gonna unlock the guides. We're going to take that with us. Lock the guides. Okay, so according to my notes, there's 48 stitches instead of 42 that means that there has to be 10, and see how we have 5? That means that we have to have another 48. We have to have another 3. So we have 5, 6, 7. So we have to have 8 increases. Let me just write that down. 8. Take that out. So now we got to strip this bad boy back. This is 6 months, 6 to 12 months. Okay. Take this guy out. So I have to get the height. So I got to drag in the symbol first. Out the way. So in the 6 to 12 months, there's 48 stitches, not 42, or not 42. Let's just use that as a marker. Those look like snowflakes. Well, if there was spacing, they could be. And for those that I'll show you a sample, the real sample, because I have this drawn by pencil. And I'm just converting it to computer. So there's 48 stitches, so 360 degrees divided by 48 stitches will give me the spacing. So for those that are just joining us, this one is right here. So that's what I'm doing. So they're baby hats. So the way that you're reading it online looks like that. Do you see the V? Do you see the V stitches? So the V stitches nest inside each other. But the growth round, which I'm doing right now, is the factor. And there's only a difference of 6 stitches for going from 3 months to 6 to 12 months. And then this guy should be blue. And we're going to ungroup these guys. Okay, so 48 divided by 2 is 24. So there's 24 of these going in the circle. When I get double lives, why do I get double lives on YouTube? I have no idea. One might be a vertical format and the other one might be landscape. I noticed our system is doing that, but that's all I can think of. Okay, so we're going to copy that around. Oops. It's missing stitches. It's missing stuff. Is that vertical make sense? I don't know. So there's a vertical and a horizontal on YouTube. Oh, interesting. It says that there's a vertical format. I just haven't seen it. So where I accidentally separated my symbols group. And we'll do it again. We'll copy this around. 12:01 my time. Kelly is 2 towns away, so I gotta. And the car already has the snow off, so I'm okay with that. So 360 degrees divided by 24 of those. Oh. Oh, interesting. Well, the vertical is not very convenient, Wendy. Oh. Okay, so here is my, so I gotta adjust all the bottoms. Okay, so we know that it has to increase 8 times. So let's make one of these. I'm just trying to see where it naturally wants to go in between. So I need 8 of 8 increases. So let's just change. This is an increase, so it's 1. 2. 3. 4. There's got to be something over here. Let me just think about this. 48 can be divided by 8. Gives me 6. So if I start here, 1, 6. So if I do another 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, that's not it. 48 divided by 8 gives me 6 stitches. But there's not. There's 24 divided by 24. Oh, so that means there's 3. 1, 2, 3. Math is not my strongest subject. This one might be able to equally space. Oh my God, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are my increases right there. change the color. Two increases each quarter pie. Right. Math is not my thing, Lauren. Wendy is magic. Actually, I saw a video the other day that just made me laugh. It was so Wendy too. Streak of mean, streak of genius, streak of something. It was funny as hell. Trying to think what it was. Just the vocabulary on this woman was like so Wendy in real time. And now she's going to say, I want to see which one it is. And I'm going to say to her, I don't remember. And I honestly don't. But I did laugh. And then there's that other thing. Have you been noticing, Wendy, is that they have people that put like happy face. They draw a happy face on a photo on their face, and then or on a piece of paper, and then the person, they get a customer service answer and they slam that paper on somebody's face where they know it's going to give a reaction of judgment. That's been funny too. You and I could both be in trouble for that one. So I'm just indicating which ones are the increase. Wendy is hilarious, especially if you're tired. She's even more funnier. And she has, I don't know why I might do that. She has humor that just matches my own. She can make me squeal. I'm not sure that's on her resume, but she can make a gay man squeal. Mm-hmm. I know that's right. Okay, so I'm gonna have to save my work, and I'm gonna go meet Kelly for a coffee. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna leave you for now, and I'm gonna go meet Kelly for some coffee, get me out of the house just for a little bit. And I think that's it. I will say hi to Kelly for you people. And got to pack up the puppy dog. And okay, so we'll see y'all later, and have a great afternoon.